It's Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, and we now have 7 straight days of severe weather ahead of us according to the SPC. You can see right here, this is the Storm Prediction Center severe outlook. This is day 1 to 8. We have a day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Most of this being in the plains, but some of this severe risk does transition a little bit out east towards Dixie Alley and up into the Midwest. I do think, well, I'm positive some of these risk zones are going to be expanded and moved. It always happens. We're not exactly sure how these storms are going to set up, especially once you get out towards day 3 and on. So if you're not in any of these risk zones, but you're out there somewhere in the Ohio Valley, in the plains, in the Midwest, Dixie Alley, still pay attention. Again, these risk zones are going to shift a little bit as we move forward in time, and they're going to very likely expand. So this is really what I want to focus on in this video. It's going to be a pretty quick video, but just the extended severe risk here. I want to get into all the updates. Let's start off by taking a look at our live radar. We do have a storm system moving through Saskatchewan and Manitoba. You can see we have some showers moving through the northern plains. Also some showers with a little bit of a mix of snow and ice moving through portions of Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. Now I quickly want to transition into our temperature outlook. Here we go. This is a 6 to 10 day outlook. Still a little bit cooler out east over the next few days for some of us. But as we get into this pattern where we're going to have storm systems moving in off the Pacific, we're going to get some low pressure systems pulling in this warm Gulf air. We're going to warm up a lot in the Ohio Valley out in the southeast, really across much of the country. But our jet stream will collapse just enough to keep it a little bit cooler up there through portions of the northern plains and the upper Midwest. Getting into our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, we're pretty much warm from coast to coast. Again, just because of where our jet stream sits, we might be a little bit cooler up here in the northern tier states, at least around average. But for most of us, we're still running above average. Let's quickly take a look at our precipitation forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. Here's our 48-hour forecast. Lots of rainfall in Florida, especially along the east coast of Florida. Some rainfall moving into, or some precipitation. This could be some snow for the higher elevations, but moving into northern California, central to northern California, and then central to northern Oregon. And then, of course, we've got some rainfall, some precipitation moving through portions of the Midwest and central plains. As we move into the 72-hour range, you're going to see a lot more rainfall through this region here and then out along the California and Oregon coast as this storm system begins to move in. The same storm system that's going to bring us our severe weather threat, or the same storm systems that are going to continue to bring our severe weather threat through the plains, out through the Midwest here over the next 5 to 7 days. Getting into the 5-day range, again, more precipitation out here for California. A lot of snow potentially for the Cascades, late season snow. And then you see we continue to see a lot of that rainfall through portions of the plains and then up there through the Midwest, Great Lakes region. Pushing all the way out to 7 days, this pattern continues. And we also continue to see pretty dry conditions out along the East Coast and in the Southeast. That's because we have a high pressure sitting out here, and I talked about this last video and in my live. High pressure sitting out here that's going to actually help to kind of steer and amplify potentially some of the severe weather through the plains, Dixie Alley, and the Midwest. So as these low pressures move through and our high pressure sits out here, these troughs are going to eject through the center of the country. But this high pressure is kind of protecting the Southeast and East Coast from a lot of this precipitation and a lot of this severe weather. Getting into our day 1 severe threat, so that's today. SPC doesn't have a tornado outlook, a little bit of a wind risk zone there, a little bit of a hail risk zone. So mainly hail and wind threat. It's always possible if you get a strong, supercell capable of producing damaging wind and some hail to get a spin up. So, be on the watch out. But right now, the tornado threat's pretty low. If we take a look at the Rufus, it does show some thunderstorms trying to spark up in and around, we'll call it 6 to 8 p.m. Central. So watch out for that as we get into the late afternoon, early evening hours. Make sure you have your alerts on in central Kansas. Taking a look at our day 2 threat as we push into tomorrow. So this is Thursday. We start to see some thunderstorms really beginning to develop, I would say around 5 p.m. Central. And then as we push through the evening, you see a line of thunderstorms up here, really through northern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, northern Missouri. That could get severe. Let's break out this severe risk for tomorrow. No tornado threat from the SPC. We do have that 5% wind threat and a 5% hail threat as well. So again, not too dangerous of a setup today and tomorrow, but you never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. Make sure you have your alerts on out here. They both look like evening events, so it should be somewhat quiet, or it's expected to be somewhat quiet through the morning and afternoon hours, and then things will start to kind of pick up as we get into the evening, especially the mid to late evening hours tomorrow. Now let's push out towards our day 3 risk. You can see this encompasses portions of, so this would be Friday, portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, southwestern Missouri, and northwestern Arkansas. As we move forward in time here, let's get into Friday. These storms start to initiate a little bit earlier than they will today or Thursday. You can see we're starting to get some storms firing off potentially as early as 2 to 3 p.m. Central Time across portions of north central Oklahoma, south central Kansas, and then you really see those storms ignite as we get into around 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time. Again, this likely won't come with too much of a tornado threat. I do think we'll have a wind and hail threat on this, but we will have to watch out. This is kind of at the tail end of a front. You can get some rotation, some vorticity along the tail ends of a frontal boundary like this. So we'll have to watch out again through portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and potentially even southeastern Colorado and the panhandle of Texas. And this threat may last all the way through really into Friday night, going into Saturday morning. You will see at the end of this run here, strong to severe thunderstorms potentially beginning to fire off in New Mexico, pushing off into the northeast. So this would be Saturday, and this is definitely when things start to look a little bit more severe. You get that 850 millibar beginning to transfer that moisture and that instability from the Pacific and the Gulf, and you get that southwesterly cross flow from our 500 millibar jet. So this is when you get more of a typical dangerous severe setup. We're going to be watching this region out here. Again, if we go and take a look at our day 4, Texas, Oklahoma, I think this threat will probably expand a little bit further north into Kansas. Again, this is our Saturday threat. And then if we take a look at our Sunday threat, it moves a little bit further east. We can go a little bit further out into our day 6. This expands Texas all the way up into the upper Midwest. Again, I do think that this may expand out, may broaden and expand north a little bit more as well. Getting into day 7, Dixie Alley threat. So a lot to look at ahead. I did want to quickly touch on, is this severe threat uptrending? Is it downtrending? We saw an uptrend the last 48 hours. We saw a downtrend yesterday with the 12Z of the Euro and GFS. Well, we're back to an uptrend. Let's take a look at this here. Here is where we were. Let's get back to, I believe it was the 12Z yesterday. Quite a downtrend. This is the 500 millibar. This is kind of what does a lot of the steering for our severe weather. And if you see this pretty amplified, you see a tilting trough at the 500 millibar, that's a sign that we could have a strengthening, pretty significant severe weather event. And we went from this very, very amplified kind of prominent looking trough to kind of this flattened out system here where you don't really see that dig, that amplification with the trough. This was during the 12Z run yesterday. Now we move forward in time and there you go. The GFS has definitely uptrended this again. You can see the amplification here. You can see this at the 500 millibar level, this trough really digging, this cutoff low really digging into the southwest. This is going to be bringing with it a lot of energy. We take a look at the Euro as well. We saw the same thing. I mean, here's yesterday. Here is the 12Z yesterday, and here's our update this morning with the 06Z of the European. So this severe weather threat has, I mean, this is what happens. That's why you can't just watch any single model run and say, oh, this is going to be a bust or this is going to be a crazy event until you get within, you know, that 72-hour 96 range. Even at that range, even 72 hours out, things will uptrend and downtrend, but usually not as significant as they uptrend and downtrend at this range when we're talking about 4+ days, 5+ days. So we could see another downtrend. We could see another uptrend, but right now, this system overnight with the latest model runs did re-intensify and does look pretty significant. Once again, you can see it at the 850 millibar level too. Again, this is kind of where our moisture transport, our instability transport is. That 500 millibar does a lot of the steering, and this 850 can help us determine how severe this weather is going to be wherever it's going to be located. You can kind of see a lot of this low-level shear is actually transferred back into the plains. You have a stronger southerly flow. You have higher velocity winds now back into the southern plains, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas with these latest model updates. So I would say definitely central southern plains after the updates this morning, an uptrend in the potential severity of this risk as we get into this weekend and as we push into early next week. And this is kind of what I want to do in this channel. As day by day, as the new model runs come out, as we kind of assess what's going on, I want to update you guys and let you know, what do I think? Do I think this is going to end up being very severe? Could it be a bust? Are we seeing an uptrend? Are we seeing a downtrend? Like I said, a little bit of an uptrend overnight. So obviously, there's a ton going on. I do think we're going to end up having severe weather, guys, on Wednesday as well, meaning we're talking about 8, maybe 9, maybe more, but at least 8 straight days of severe weather. It's April. We're in an ENSO neutral cycle. ENSO neutrals tend to be a little bit more aggressive. At least ENSO neutrals and La Niñas are more aggressive with severe weather than El Nino. So we saw this coming. Warm Pacific Ocean, positive MPO. That's pulling with it a little bit more energy than normal off the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about. I'll probably be doing a lot of streaming next week to cover some of these severe weather events. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button. I also have a Discord with almost 700 weather enthusiasts in it where I update it every single day. What's going on with severe weather, winter weather, climatology, tropical weather, volcano, earthquake updates, MJO updates, everything you want to know, everything you want to see. There's even, you can get your tornado warnings in there, severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings. It's linked to the NWS, so we get instant alerts when there's any sort of warnings. If you want to join the Discord, it's completely free. It costs you nothing. It only costs me money. There's a link right down below this video in the description. Just click the link, join the Discord, and I'll make you a member of the Climate Crew. We also do some free merch giveaways in there just for fun. So anyways, like I said, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video or in the next live stream. I will not be live streaming tonight, but I'll be back posting another video tomorrow and live streaming tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then. See ya.